All right, so we are back to creating the Smart Trader application that's going to track all of our trades and give us statistics on us and allow not only for the buys and sells to be tracked, but let's say we have multiple buys in the same stock and then multiple sells in the same stock. That's all one big trade. So we need a way to handle that. I don't think we'll get to that logic today. It's a little beefier than I thought it would be, but we'll definitely get to that eventually. So we want to do today, we have no real CSS on our application, so we need to do that. We need to give it some styling based off the Figma presentation. We're going to add the add and delete functionality to the trade ledger and try and do some of the trade statistics logic if we have time to. So let me go ahead and share here, share this screen. So far what we've got is, let's go home. So these are just here for placeholders so we can see them. So our nav bar is going to have a home tab, an add trade tab, which we have here, which we checked, took last week off 2 weeks ago. This all works fine, just doesn't look very pretty. And then the ledger, which records all of our trades. So I have had to add a few, I'm gonna have to add a few other things to this add trade, like when the trade opens and when it closes, simply because you don't always just buy 100 shares of Amazon and sell 100 shares of Amazon. You might buy 100 shares, buy another 50, buy another 50, sell 50. It keeps going up. Maybe you sell 90% of it and keep a runner going. And that trade is still open. And you need a way to process that whole thing as one trade to look at the statistics of like how you handled that whole trade. So if that's not necessary for you to do, you won't need to do that. So I'm going to wait until we get some more functionality in this, some styling done, and then I'll look at the logic as far as if you're going to add to positions, trim from positions, let runners run, things of that nature, which may be a little more complicated than you might want. So we'll hold the off on that for right now, but let's go ahead. What I do want to do on the ledger here is, and actually let me, just so we can see it, I'm going to pull up the Figma one more time. Let's see. Okay, so again, here's kind of the styling, sort of the, what is that? The color palette we want to use and kind of what we want everything to look like. So right now, obviously it doesn't look like this, but we're going to do that today. And then we want the ledger. Ledger is going to look something similar to current portfolio, just with different headers here, but the color scheme will be pretty much the same. And then of course we have like the nav bar here, which gives us links to the different pages we're going to need. So we're going to kind of base what we're doing off of that. Drop this down here. And so these are just here for just holding placeholders, I guess I should call them. They don't actually do anything yet. So we're going to add that first, and then we'll go ahead and add the styling, and then we'll get into more of the like fun. What I think is fun is like all the trade statistics and the logic behind all that. So let's go over to our code here. I've already got us up and running, obviously. So what we're going to want to do here is, and let me pull, I did a few things ahead of time so that we wouldn't have to type out literally everything, because that gets to be a little crazy. So let me pull up on this side. All right, so let me see here. Did we do let's go to the server. Got the model all set. I just don't know. Okay, so on the controller, we do already have all the stuff we'll need here set. All the routes should be done. Yeah, okay, we did all the backend stuff. So we already have something that will allow us to edit the trade and delete the trade. So we just need to do that on the front end now. So we already have the delete one. So I guess we could just go ahead and add that first. So let's go ahead and close some of these out. And on the trade ledger here, we're going to go ahead and we need to create, on this one, we're going to need, obviously, we've got the delete. Let's go ahead and put the delete functionality in here. So for this one, we are going to do, let's go ahead and use a button. Let's use buttons for these. And then this will just say delete. In here, we will do an on click. And then let's just do, we'll do an anonymous function for a delete handler. So we'll handle this outside of the line item, so delete handler, and we'll just need to pass in the stock dot. Oh, I know one thing I needed to change here too. I don't know why I put this in here as index, because we have a database, so we can just do, instead of using index as a holder to map through, we can actually just use the stock dot. And /ID or underscore ID is what MongoDB builds in automatically for the ID. So it's not just .id, it's underscore ID. So just be careful that you do that. And then same down here. And we'll go ahead and the edit. Well, edit's going to be a link. So actually, we'll just build this one because this will be pretty simple. So another button. Do I have link imported? I do not. So we need to import. Sometimes it does it automatically. Let's just see if it wants to do that for us here. Oh, it might work. Link, and then we're going to do the path, which will be, let's double check here. The update will just be /update. Okay, so 2/update, and then, oh, we have to use params, which I don't have in there yet. So let's go ahead and do, wrong side. We actually need to make these tick marks. Let's go ahead and just finish this because wow, okay. I guess it doesn't want to import that automatically. So what's going on here? Oh, this needs to be in brackets if we're gonna, yeah. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, so here we're gonna do update, and then over here we need to update. This needs to be, we need to use params. So we'll do this, which will allow us to pass, if we do the :ID, that will allow us to pass the ID through so that when it goes to the update page, we can access this ID on the update page. And then this is doing that same thing. It's passing whatever stock we're mapping through. We're going to pass that ID through. So when it goes to the update page, it knows what stock it's going to be updating. So that should be good there. We need to do a delete handler or we're not going to see anything. So let's go ahead and let's just type this bad boy out. So I'll do delete handler, and we will pass in the ID for deletion. Deletion? Yeah, okay. And then we are going to do the, do we have stock service in here? We do. So we can just use stock service dot delete one stock. And then we're just going to pass in the ID for deletion. And then we're going to do the .then, and we will pass results through. And we will just go ahead and console log them to make sure they're working. And we will, going to need, oh yeah, we're going to have to filter through the list. That's right. Okay, so cons filtered list equals stocks dot filter. Go through this in 1 second. We're going to pass the stock through. And then return stock.id believe not equal to ID for deletion. Did I pass through? Oh, maybe. I have the stock ID passing through the delete handler, which is the ID for deletion. Stock. I don't know why. It should be. Oh, I've got this in the wrong place. That's why. Okay. All right. So basically what we're doing here is we're just creating a function. We're passing in the ID connected to this stock. Bringing it through here. We're running the delete one stock. And then what we are going to, and it's going to delete that stock because that's the ID for deletion. So first it's going to go ahead and delete that stock from the database, but then we need a way to update state. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a filtered list. And basically all we're going to do is we're going to go through the stocks using the .filter method. And we're just going to return any stock from the whole set of stocks that doesn't equal, whose ID doesn't equal the one we just deleted, and then set stocks to filter list. So we update the state with every single stock except for the one we just deleted. So let's see if this works on the front end here. And voila, our delete functionality works. Now this, I don't think it's going to work. Oh, it actually did take us to the right page. We just don't have anything there. Okay, great. So the delete function works. Let's do the edit one, and then we'll get some styling so that it's a little easier to input new trades. Actually, I think we should do the styling first. That way, because we're basically just going to copy over the add. The add trade is going to look very similar to the update trade. So I think let's do the CSS first. Let me just make a note. Got this done. And now we'll do some of the CSS to try and make it look more like the Figma. Okay, so let's start with app.css, obviously. Let me pull up, I did some of the CSS ahead of time, so we will see. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's go ahead and clear some of the margin stuff real quick. So the asterisk just does everything. We're just gonna set all the margins to 0. Oops, that's an O. And the padding to 0, just to start, so we don't get, nothing gets messed up there. And then let's go ahead and do the, what do we got here? What do we got? All right, so our H1s, we're gonna have those be, and I built a color. Let me just copy in this color code I want to work with. I'll just put it here. So these are this is basically the colors from the Figma, just so I don't have to keep finding them and typing them in. But we are going to use for the H1, we are going to use, oh goodness, where is it? The 004. Why don't we just copy that in? Okay, so we've got that. And then now let's just go ahead and do the nav bar. So I'll just copy this in and then I'll walk through what we're doing. Okay, that should be good. Oh, I know what I've got. I think I turned all of this on the, Oh, right. Okay. So we're just going to change this because that light dark kind of messes everything up. But some of this stuff, I like the font family they use, and sort of the smoothing with all the font kind of stuff I do like set. So we're just going to do that. Okay, great. So now we've got the main background color. Looks a little crazy right now, but at least it's up there and working. Trade ledger, nav bar. Now, why isn't, oh, do I not have, don't think I have the nav bar with what it needs. So yes, we need to update this. All right, so, all right, what did we do here? Okay, so we did, class name is going to be nav row. Then we're going to do this. This is why I do this stuff ahead of time, because I do not love CSS. We can get rid of this now because we know what that is. And then we're going to use all links here. So we will copy this and we'll walk through the nav bar. These we kind of just put here as placeholders, so we had something, so we didn't have to keep trying to navigate the website without anything. Okay, let's see how this looks. And we need to turn decoration off for, wait, let's see, nav links. We need this one. Okay. All right. Okay, we've got this now. How beautiful with a little CSS. So basically what I did here on the CSS is, if we just take a look at the nav bar, so we created one, we created one flex row, which is right here. And then we just created two separate flexes that are basically just standard flexes, so we can separate them. So basically what we did there is we have the nav title. So you can see here, the nav row is a flex row, obviously. And then we can do the space between, which, because these are two separate components isn't the right word. I don't even know what I'm thinking of. Classes, I guess, class names. This has a nice spacing between it. And then when we go to open and close the page, right, they naturally move over. So that's good. Still have to work. I don't know that I'm going to make this like mobile accessible, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to, because you're mainly going to be using this to study your trades. But we'll get to that. Okay, so we've got, and then we use space between there. And then for the nav title, it's just slightly different because it's a flex column, because I wanted it to be stacked like this, is how we designed it in the Figma, with this little light blue line as a border. And then over here, this is just so that was a flex column. And then the links to the right there are flex row, and just use some basic gap and align some things and messed around with the font size a little bit. So I think this looks pretty good. For what we've got now, I mean, it does everything. It can always make it a little fancier, but I think for now it's good. The buttons work. And then all we really did here is we changed, this is an H1 tag. So the H1s were changed by color, simply just this color. And then we changed on the index.css, we just changed the background color to be this. And then all the font is preset with Vite or Vite, whatever, however you say that, system, which I do like. I do like the look of it. It's kind of fun. I always have a trouble like finding a good font, and you got to import them. And so this is fine. For now, okay, now let's look at updating this, because what I didn't like about this is actually we're missing some of the error stuff, I feel like. Well, maybe we already fixed that. Let me take a look here. Let's close this. So the nav bar is good. We don't need to mess with this anymore. And you can see here how we did class name is that nav row, and then the nav title is a column flex, and then the nav links is a row flex. And then each of these, I just got rid of the decoration so the links don't turn purple and all that. Looks very 90s when it does that, or early 2000s at least. Let's go to the add trade here. Oh, we did change that. Okay, we're at the end of the last video. We did do these. Okay, so basically what we're doing here on the add, we've got this big handle change function, which is handling all the front end validation. And we have two types of errors. One's really an error, and one is not. But I just wanted it for a reminder, and you can easily remove it if you want to. So the true error messages are these ones, right? Like you need to have a ticker, you need to have a price, a date, the amount of shares, and the buy or sell. And we already did all the back-end validation stuff for MongoDB using those Mongoose model schemas. And so basically all this is doing is it's basically saying if the target.name is ticker, so the first input field, this just sets state. So that's all that's doing. And then down in the error message is nothing. First. And so the error message is if we don't type anything, let me reload this page. This is the error message you get. Okay. So that's this. Then what it says is, just do the ticker one. If there is a new value in the input field. So now if I go to ticker and I type, it changes the error message. So in this one, because it's a ticker, it can be a single symbol. Let's do price, because that'll be, because I said in price, I don't buy things below $10. And you can change this to whatever you want. Just make sure to change it into the model. So let's do price. So when I click this, now it changes the error message because now there is a value. And it's going to leave this don't buy stocks under $10 until we get to 10. Then when we go back, it pops back up. And that's what this is. Right, so if we go back to, so this stays, this keeps popping up, but if I go back to, we'll do it on this one. No, but it'll do it on this one. Else pop up this error message. So that way we can handle all the different ways people could like have an error, then not have an error, then have an error. And it's good to like constantly remind them if like they accidentally, tab or something, and then it deletes one of these. So anyway, those are the errors. And then I'm not sure why I thought we did these ones. I thought, why aren't these ones working though? Oh, because I don't have them. Oh, no, I do. I should. Farm. Did I not? Oh, I guess I didn't set those errors. Okay, so for the tactical and shaper, because I know not everybody does that, there's just I just want a reminder. It's not going to block you from submitting the form with the trade, but I just want it to be a reminder like, hey, do you want to put the shaper or the tactical? Because the one thing that's annoying is like if you don't put in like why you bought the stock, at least the most basic thing, like what is the pattern you looked at, and you do that multiple times and you get in a habit of it, then you want to go back and look. Now you've got to go back and look at every single chart pattern and look at, which may be a good thing. You may ask yourself like, why did I buy this? But I like to know my reason for buying it. So when I go back to review, I can look at it and say, well, was that really a mini coil pattern? Was that really a cup with handle? Was that really a flat base, or was I cheating? So I think it's important to put them in, but I understand not everybody trades the same way. So what we need to do though is we need a const, just called required, or not required. That's what it's called. Yeah. Obviously, it wouldn't be required, not required, and set not required. Use state, and then these will be on. Whoops. Let me take a look at. Just can't remember if I. Okay, I did set these, so I'm just going to copy this over, make this simple. Okay, and now, and then I have to add. So here's the set not required. So similar to how we set form errors, the set not required is basically the same thing. It's just the reason it has to be a separate use state is because this little validator we put in for the submit button, so you can't submit unless all the errors are gone. I didn't want it to include the stuff that's not required, obviously, because then you couldn't submit it unless you put the stuff in. And I think for myself, actually, I'm going to make it so that you have to put it in because I don't want to make that mistake, but it's just a way to show you a reminder if you don't want it to be an actual error that's going to block you. So that's why I made it two different use states there. And then we need to, instead of this, it needs to be not required. Okay, there we go. All right, sweet. So now we see this, but if I type in the proper stuff, our confirmed trade still shows up. So we don't have to do these in order for this to work, but that's kind of nice. So that looks like it's working. I just copied that down. So that's why that needed to be changed. And then I think everything is working here now. I got to mess around with the date a little bit, but let's go ahead now and do the CSS for the, let's go ahead and do it for the add trade because this one looks the ugliest to me. And so I'll pull up the Figma one more time. This is kind of what we want the add trade to look like. And then with these just little asterisks like, hey, this is required right here. Actually, I got to add that. And then our submit button down here. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and get the CSS going. Let me just take a look here how I did this real quick. Oh, right. Okay. So basically the way I'm going to do this is have a Flux container here, and then columns here. And that way we'll have, so these will all be in the same column. This will be in the same column. This will be in the same column. They'll all be their own divs. So let's go ahead and do that. And going to call this, just so I don't spell this stuff wrong, let's just go ahead and copy this in for the sake of time. So this is going to be our trade form container. That's the main container. And then I am going to, for the entire form, we're going to have a trade form class name. And then I'm not changing. Okay. And then we're going to have to create the 3 different columns. So, and this is where it gets a little bit confusing because I'm going to have to move all these pieces around, but it's okay. All right. So here is the first column. Whoops. And inside of this one, we're going to have date, shares, shaper pattern, and our button. So we're gonna have to move all this stuff around. So let's just move, whoops. Okay, so date, I'm gonna cut this. Just want a lot of room between here so don't get them confused. And then, okay, wait, date, then shares, then shaper, shares. Whoops. Then the shaper. And this is why I didn't want to make the update one yet, because we'd have to do this all over again for that. Cut this. And then the submit button. This is the shaper. And then we will close this div. Perfect. All right. So that's one column. And then the next column will be buyer, sell, price, and tactical. Buyer, sell. Whoops. Then price. And then tactical. Oops. And let me grab this. Okay. And then we just need one more. And this one will be ticker, and then that's it. Just be ticker in this one. So that's easy. Easy enough. Oh, and we have to do the CSS or it's not going to work. So let's grab the CSS here. All right. I think we need all of this. Just trying to do this piece by piece so I don't have to go through and do all the. Well, that didn't work. Let's see, I've got label, form column, trade form container. Oh, shoot. How did these get left out? That's why. Okay, what did I mess up there? Buy, sell. I must have just forgot to put these in here. No. Oh, because I must have copied this and not cut it. That's why. I must have done the same thing with shares. Let me just double check shares are in here. Price. Shares. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. And button, I did it too. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Oops. All right, now we should be good. Okay, great. And this, oh, I just need to put the class name on that one, the button. Which is called what again? Okay, great. There we go. So let's just go over this. And now it's a lot easier to see all over different errors. I don't know what's going on with the date error, but we'll fix that in a second. So this is great. So everything here looks pretty good. And I'm not sure that this should be. Did I do, we could make this so. I don't like that it looks the same. So let's see on confirm trade. I guess we could do something like this. Actually, other way around. I'll just call it JS disabled. That's not good. Class name. Oh, do I have to do it? No, that should work. Or maybe because that's not actually a. Thought I could just put a ternary in here. Let me look at something. I've got a. Oh, you got to do this thing. Okay. I didn't realize that. All right. So you have to do the whole. This. I also think it needs. See if that works. Should just be. I guess you can't do that in here, huh? Oh, I guess I can do. I guess what I could do instead of that, I can do validate form. There we go. I'm just gonna do, let's just make it black. I don't know. Just see if this actually even works. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's why I was missing the parentheses. Okay, so that's obviously not what I want it to look like, but we can just do, I will copy this, but we will make it so that the background color, we'll make this just be maybe, what's disabled usually look like? Light gray, maybe light gray. And then these could just be gray for right now. Whoops. Okay, that looks pretty good for right now. All right, so perfect. Okay, so basically what we did here, just to be clear, what I was trying to do and took me too long to do, I guess you can't use disabled as a true false here, which makes sense because, yeah. Anyway, so class name, so we're putting a function inside of class name, which is why you need the brackets and the ticks here. So we've got the brackets and then, and honestly, I don't even think I need this, but I want it to be false. Well, it's fine. So if validate form is false, then we're going to have JS disabled because remember, it validates the form. So it's like kind of opposite of thinking. Otherwise, we'll have it be the confirmed trade class name. So you can do inline styling and just do like style equals and then put the function in there and then change all the different style pieces. But because there's this many style pieces, I don't want to do that. So I always find it easier in general, and it's a little cleaner, I think, unless it's maybe just like crossing a line through or like changing the color of the single font to red or something. Just doing these class names is a little easier, I think. And so that's what we're doing here. So basically we're just saying validate form is false. We'll set it to this disabled, and then let's, I guess, make sure it actually works. Yep, perfect. And now it changes and it submits, and there somehow we bought Amazon at $50. I don't know how we did it, but we did it. We'll delete that one. Okay, great. So that does work. Now let's just make sure. Does this look good enough? I think this is probably, I just know we're going to copy it over to the update trades. I just want to make sure it's good. The only thing I didn't like about this solution when I was testing it is that, let's say you go here to type in Apple, and when you hit tab, it takes you up there because these are columns, right? Like if I go here, it goes there. But because the user kind of is probably doing it like this. And so the other solution was to make it rows. But then I was having more trouble with the CSS getting all this stuff to line up in the columns directly. So I think this is fine for now. Maybe there'll be a better solution. I do have, if we get to it today, the ability now, I was working on over the week. If you hit buy, it will create a drop down here that says open trade, yes or no, which you don't have to answer. It's set to no. And then when you go to sell, it says, do you want to close the trade? So that would be like I was talking about in the very beginning, like if we have one big trade that's a lot of different buys and sells, we need to be able to, when we go to pull all the data from the database, I need some way to know that that's the beginning of the big trade and the end, because you could also trade the same stock again in 4 months. And when you pull the data from the database, there's no way it's going to know when that one Amazon trade, let's say, was closed and when the new Amazon one opens. And those are truly two different trades that you might want to analyze. So you probably will analyze. So that's some added functionality we'll do later. But for now, this looks good. Dashboard, we don't really need to do anything with because this is basically going to show us eventually our current portfolio. I think that's what we'll do is we'll have the current portfolio here and maybe something else on here. But for now, that's good. So let's go ahead and do the update stuff, and then we can get into some of the trading statistic logic. So we have nothing in update trade, I do not believe. We do not. So we will. So we're basically going to copy and paste all this over. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead. I think it'd be smart for us to add the open trade, close trade first, because it's going to need it. And then, because then we can actually make the custom hooks and we don't have to have that entire change handler on the whole page. So let's see here. Let's go to, let me pull up, I've got it here. It's nothing really that complicated. It's just, for the sake of time, so we can kind of move through this. Okay, yeah, so right here, we are going to build. Oh, and we need to change this in our model first. So let's do that. Probably best to start in the model, and then we'll start from the back end and then work our way through the front end. Always seems to work a little better for me. I'll just pop these over because they're pretty simple. Okay, so basically close trade, it's a Boolean, it's a true false. It's not required because it's not always necessarily going to pop up and it's not always needed there, but it's really just true false. Like true, you did open the trade or close the trade, vice versa with open trade. So those are there. Close this. I don't need to do anything then in the controllers or the routes because it won't mess with any of that. So we're done with the server side. But we need to add these functions now. So inside of the last column, we're going to put it, right? So right here, it's going to pop up. So all we need to do here is we can do stock state dot buy or sell. If this equals sell question mark. So right, this is we're just using a ternary like we did. I'm already forgetting. Oh, on the button. So we're going to do something similar to, where's that button? Oh, here it is. We're going to do something similar to this right inside of here. So if this is true, now, when you do these in here and you use this, you got to make sure you've got something here. It'll kind of like freak out on you. And then these errors should go away in a second. And then, so we'll have a label. At least I hope they go away. This will be for closed trade. And then do you want to close the trade? We're going to do well, we can just grab this from the buy sell actually. Whoops. Whoopsie. Okay, and instead of buy sell, this will just be and then this will be actually this will be true, will be yes, and this will be false, no, and on change, oh yeah, we'll need to change the handle change. Why is this giving me a little error here? Oh, I know why, because we don't have okay, so if it equals that, then we're going to put this. Otherwise, and we're done. Because you got to finish the statement. You always have to have the, I think, at least any way I've ever done it, you can't just say, ask the question like, if true, do this. You have to have an else. And the else can either be like, in this case, it needs to be this. But like in this case, on the button, when doing in here, like let's say I didn't need this, you would just make it blank. So you just have the quotes, but you have to have something, or I guess over here, you just make it quotes. So you have to have something as another condition, basically. So that goes there. We got to change it in the handle changer. It's not going to work. So look, so all we need here is, oh, let's not do that one, date stuff. Let's just grab this one. Okay, and so if target name equals close trade, oh, and we need to add it here. Whoa. Oh. Then we will grab this whole thing because we'll have to do it for the open trade as well. And I guess we can just go ahead and copy this. And then instead of this, it's going to be buy. And we'll just change all these to open. Hey! Oh, gotta change. This should be open. Cool. And so if we go here, then it says, do we want to close the trade? Buy. So let's see if this actually works. And if we go back here, we get nothing. Yay. Let's go ahead and just make, I got too much stuff on this ledger. So let's just clean a lot of this out. Oh, also, they don't need to be, but let's go ahead and sort these by date. I just had a quick little simple function I built. Just using this sort method here. Pretty simple. Oops, not the right page. So this is a little cleaner to look at. Great. Now these are in order. So it's just a basic, you just use the sort. I always get confused, ascending, descending, but we want it to be the later to the newer this way. At least that's the way I like to look at it. I guess you could flip it if you want to, and all you have to do then is change A and B. It's pretty simple. Using sort, and you can Google it. I had to Google that one. I hadn't used sort before, but it seems like a pretty easy method to use. So, okay, let's get rid of some of this old stuff because I just want to make a fake trade here. Oh, and you know what we don't have on the ledger either is, I think we should have open and close here. Oh. Whoopsies. There we go. Okay, so let's make sure this is working. So we'll make up something where in January, we buy, we open the trade. Let's keep using Amazon, I guess. Let's say we buy 100 shares at $100. Let's go ahead, say it was coming out of a cup with handle. Oops, got a problem. let's not do that and just see. Oh, what's going on with our, this seemed to have messed something up here. Let's see. I wonder if it's because I have this. You know what? Let's do this. I wonder if that's really the reason. Because open trade. I think that's I think because, well, no, that wouldn't make, let's see, I do this right. Well, let's just see if this works real quick and then. Oh, I'm getting a trade. What happened here? Oh, you know what? I think it's the, hold on. Hold up. Close trade, open trade. Okay, so the value it's getting is nothing, which I totally understand, and it's getting a string. Am EDA target value. Because I did this over the week and it worked fine. And it's because I think it's because it's obviously getting, can you put, you can't just do that. Can I do like, but I didn't have to do that. I tested this all during the week and I didn't have to do that. Oh, I bet I know what it is now that I think about it. It's not that. It's that this is set. This needs to be set to false. That's what it is. Because if it goes in as nothing, then it is just an empty string. That's the problem. All right, now we should be good. All right, so let's say in January we started buying. Let's be really lucky. Let's say we bought SMCI 200. Yeah. But I don't know what that thing was trading at. Maybe 300 then. Open trade. Yes, we will. We bought it coming out of the cup with no handle on a downtrend line. Okay, great. So that is in there now. Then we went ahead. The next week we bought more. We did not open the trade. SMCI. We bought another 200 shares. Bought it at 400. No shaper to say it was a kicker. Cool. Boom, boom. Then a couple days later, we bought more SMCI because we're just killing it. Bought it at 450. Oh, no, whoa, no. Made a flat base, came out of a mini coil. Great, we're just amazing. Now, after earnings, whenever that was, I don't know, just pretend it was there. We're going to sell some of it, but not all of it. So close trade, no. We're going to just sell 200 shares at a price of 700. Or say we're de-risking. Now enough to add up the math and see how many we actually bought and sold. 200, 200, 100, sold 200, so 300. And then let's just say we sold the rest now at the end of the month. We are closing the trade. Sold it at 600. Close trade, yes. I don't even put that, I'll just say stop it. Oh, that didn't work. You know what? I realized there's a problem. I realized that over the week when I was doing some testing, there is an issue on the drop down where it says this should be stop it. So we will edit that right now. So wait. Yeah, and this isn't a kicker. Oh, we can't edit trades. We don't have that, but we'll do that. Okay, so now we can see, oh, why is this showing? Uh-oh. That's not good. I was all excited and now I'm not. Stock.open trade, close trade. Oh, I know why. Because we need to add, we can't just type this. We need to write like we did. Yeah, we're going to need to do a, yep. So open trade. If true, we wanted to say yes. Here's an example where you can just put those. So there we go. My bad. Yes. Oops. Great. Okay. So we can see where we open the trade and we close the trade. And these are just made up ones. We can actually just delete those. Okay. So now we know where we opened it, where we closed it. This will allow us to do some math later on. Let's go ahead now and let's clean this up with CSS because this does not look great. Get it a little bit more cleaned up. So let's go ahead and I didn't have to do a whole lot here. I just really added, let's see, I think a display container. Yeah, I don't think this one was all that complicated. So display container, and then I did change a bunch of the table stuff. So let's pull that up real quick. Copy that stuff in, then we'll take a look at it. Okay, much better. So let's see what we did here. Okay, display container. So we did create a flex container. We justified all the content center. And then I just went around and the border collapsing. So it does a little bit, and then it kind of disappears. But again, I don't know that this needs to be mobile, but it will need to look good on different screens. So that's important, but we'll get to that. And then just did some padding inside of here. So these looked a little cleaner, changed some of the colors, and that's really it. I mean, there's nothing too crazy. Just needed the display container to be flex, and then just messed around basically with this little color and padding. So that's what we get here. This might be a little too close a color. Maybe let's just go ahead and line it up now. Let's see, that's table header. Let's do this. That's a little better. It's easier to see. Okay. Now, okay, so at least this looks decent now. And now let's go ahead and do the update, and then we'll move the hooks over. So we just have like customized hooks. Then we don't have to, because I can't stand looking at all this is just way too much code on one page, and it's unnecessary when you can move that whole thing and all this. Well, actually, we should move it into a hook first, and then that way we have less to copy over. So just going to create, not a new file. Nope. I'm going to create a new folder. Hooks. And we'll call this one, I guess just add trade handler.jsx. And we'll go ahead and just create one for update hand, and I'll show you, unless there's a way, I don't know how to do this. And I'll show you, because there's a little issue with the errors where I can't make these two hooks the exact same, but there might be a way around it, but I just haven't found one yet. Let me close this stuff. So add trade. So, okay, so basically what we're going to do here is we are going to move this down so I can see my screen. We're going to take all of this stuff. So where we set state, set all the errors, the not required, this entire handle change function. We're going to take it all. I'm going to create state in the custom hook. And then that way, all we have to do is we can call the handle change. We can call the states into this file by importing them and then just deconstructing them. So I'll show you how to do that. I don't need that. So let's go ahead and grab all of this. That I think we'll leave here. Yeah, grab all of it except for the navigate. And then we're going to need to, whoopsies. Just make sure oh yeah, okay. Gonna have to do this first. So we need to still pass the event in when we, and then I think we can just paste this all in here. Should be good. And then I just got to export it. Maybe we do this first. Handle change. We need stock state. We need form errors. Whoop. And we need not required. and we will export. What do I call it? Add. Then when we go to the add trade, we can just do, we'll have to comment this all out or it's going to freak out. And then we'll delete it. We'll just make sure it works first. I always get afraid it's not going to. So here we will need, and then we'll just deconstruct this. Handle change, stock state, not required. Don't forget these. I always forget these and I feel like I mess it up. I think we're good. Nope. What did we mess up? Okay, I got stock state, form errors not required. Errors are coming from here, so that shouldn't be an issue. Form errors. Form errors, not required. Oh, I know. We do need this one. There we go. Right, that makes sense. Because, yes, those errors are only being set down in the handle submit, but we still need to set the state. I mean, I guess I could have put it in here, but that's fine. Okay, just make sure this works. Oops. Okay, great, works. So we'll go ahead and delete this now out of here because this is a lot to look at and unnecessary. So see, this will clean up our data a ton, or I mean our code a bunch. Whoops. Great. And we can put the handle submit somewhere else if we wanted to. And the nice thing about the handle well, yeah, I guess with the handle submit, the nice thing, we could make this, and maybe we'll make it a custom hook, because what's cool about with doing the custom, I mean, any function is like you could pass things into the handle submit. So let's say we ran handle submit, like the event would be passed into the hook, but we could also pass other stuff. So I could pass in like, because this will probably be different on most submit buttons, but I could pass this in as a variable, and same with here. Like this isn't always going to be add one stock. It could be update stock or whatever. So this could also be passed in as a variable. I guess though we'd have to set state. Yeah, maybe that wouldn't. Well, yeah, no, because we could access stock state from here. Yep. Well, I don't know. Can look into it. It doesn't take up a lot of room. That's why it doesn't really bother me. But I mean, we've gotten rid of a lot of code, so that's good. Oh, let's make this. Okay, done and done. Here's our code. That works. Let's go ahead now and create the edit. So we have something here because that makes it a lot easier for us. So the edit trade, which I should already have. Oh, and I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and copy this over. Copy to the update trade. Make sure we change these. Okay, so the reason why I can't use the same one, and I'm sure there's a way around it. Again, I could probably pass something into it. But we don't need this. Is that, see, set form errors is actually going to be nothing for the update because, well, I'll just show you how it works and then I'll change it just so you can see. So the update trade will basically be, we'll just copy this. And we're going to need to run, so something similar to, oh, and we need to grab, remember we were talking about the params, so we need to grab this. Which I'm thinking, let me just add it right here. I'm going to grab that ID. Again, make sure to put those or it's not going to work. Then we're going to do, so something similar to, let's get rid of that one. Something similar to what we did on the trade ledger, which is this use effect. Let's just grab this real quick. Okay. Whoa. That is just happened. Copy. Paste. Okay. Except we're not going to use this. We are going, oh, did we do an update stock? I don't remember now. Add one. Oh, no, we did not. Okay, we need to add this in here. Function update. Now this one's a little more interesting because we are going to need to grab oh no, I guess we don't need to do that anymore. Post. And this should just be trades. I think it's just trade/ID. And then we need to pass in the stock state because we're going to update it, right? So stock state. Then we are going to do a dot then. And this, we want to make sure we're doing the catch errors. And we'll do the throw error. Oops, I don't need that. I'll just put it there. Then but I need to make sure this is right. Trades ID. Okay, it is cool. Because it would be the same as the delete. Yeah. So trades ID, and then we need to pass the stock state in, just like when we add a stock. Oh wait, do we just call it stock? I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just a variable we're passing in. Okay. Oh shoot! No. Take that back. I need to do the get. Yeah, you know what else I need is I need to get one stock, which I do not have. I do have it in the routes. Yes. So I need to add that in here too. Oh, this actually needs to be put. Oops. Losing my mind over here. Okay, trades ID. Trades. Oh, shoot. Wait, where's update one stock? This needs to be a put. Okay, back to. I don't need to pass anything in. So that should be good. Whoa. Catch error. Okay. Update one trade. So first we need to get one stock. Geez, that took a while. Thought we had that done. Get one stock. Yeah. I feel like I'm. Yeah, here we go. And I also need to. Oops. Okay, get. Okay. I'm like losing my mind here. Right, because this isn't a list. We need that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. We need the set stock state. I was like, okay. Jesus. Okay, I'm getting the ID. Make sure this is right. Oh, wait. That's why. Oh no, update stock ID, update ID, update trade. Okay. Use state, use params. We're getting the ID. Oh, because this needs to be. Is it really going to do that right now? Might have to redo this whole one now just because. I'm getting confused if it's handle change or change handler. Handle change, okay. Handle change. I think that's why, because these are, or no, okay. Stock state, set stock state, form errors, not required. Okay, we're getting the ID. We're doing use effect stock service, get one stock by ID. Get one stock, http.get trades, pass the ID in to grab the trade we need. Set stock state to the results. Then do all this. Do I need, I don't think this, maybe that's what I need. What's the error here? Oh, I just don't have a use effect. Oh boy. Oh, that comes from, I guess I should have checked the error first. That would have, although I did need this because we only want this to run. We want this to be not run until it gets the ID. So I guess that's good. See if, let's clear this out. Okay, great. And this needs to change to not add trade, but update trade. Okay, so let me show why I'm using two different handler functions because oh shoot. I wish it showed me what time the chats came in because I really don't know. And I'm so bad at looking at them. I see you're on codes is here. My bad. Sorry about that. Do that every time. Need to get better at looking. Maybe because nobody ever chats. But if you're here, thanks for being here. Let's see. Okay, so, all right. So if I go to edit, right? And so we go edit, like I want to get rid of, where was that cell I did? That was, yeah, like this needs to be changed. So now we can edit it. But see, it's already giving me, actually, this isn't even working because these should have the state already in them. So we got a problem. Let's see if state is being. I have set stock state. Oh, I know why, because I'm not actually returning it. That would be helpful. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so let's do this over. All right, so if I go to edit, okay, now it's all filled out. Now you shouldn't be getting errors, right? Because this stuff's filled out. And so what I have to do on the update change handler is basically set these to nothing. right? So if I reload this page, now they're gone, which I would want that to be. And I'm just not sure, because it's use state, like that's the only difference. I mean, I guess technically I'm exporting or returning set stock state, but that's not a big deal. I'm just having trouble with getting, because I have to set the state here. And so I'm just not sure, although I could do something like call them two different errors. So like update errors and add errors, and then just export both from the same. But for right now, at least our code looks a lot cleaner than it would. So that's another thing might be able to do. I'll just take a note. Combine, update, /add, handler. Okay. All right. So we'll just go for a little bit more, just to make sure this is all working. So let's make sure update works. So back to the ledger. So I put this in as a kicker. This is incorrect because we had some value errors. So we'll edit this. We'll say stop hit. And it didn't work. So that's wonderful. Let's see what happened here. Still got, oh, wait, update one stock. I'm guessing I have an issue with, it would be helpful if I passed the ID in. That would probably do it. There we go. Okay, and now you can see that changed. So great. So our update works, our add works, our delete works. Make sure, boom, gone. We can edit and say this was actually not a cup with no handle, it was actually a cup with a handle. Confirm, boom, done. Database updated. I need to sit down. Back hurts. Okay, so got all the functionality done that at least I wanted to get done today. Most of the other stuff, it's really just going to be logic and mapping through the data we're getting back from the database to do specific things. So I guess we can move on. I'm going to check the code I made this week just to make sure there's nothing major missing. I know one thing, and I know why the error thing is not working now. So on the add trade, we don't get an error for the date because, and it's the same thing with update trade, but let's go to add trade. Here, obviously we don't have it. I did do some, let me take a look here. I did find a workaround, which was, let's see. See how I did this. Now this is all in different stuff. Should have probably done this before I copied it over, but that's okay. Where's the date one? Okay, here's the date. Did I change this? That's all the same. Current date. So that's all the same. Maybe I just didn't add maybe I just forgot to put the error here. I don't know why I would do that. Okay, so that's fine. So the other one was though on the ledger. So we want this to have the date in it. So that's what I was working on. I knew there was something I was working on. So that's going to actually show up in the update trade. So go here. Just pull up my solution on this one here. Oh yes, this one took a while to figure out. I don't know why dates are, I just think dates would be so much simpler to deal with. But once I did this, and then instead of this, we do, what do we call it? The date format. There we go. So we go to the ledger, say we want to edit this. Now we've actually got the date in there, and we'll just change this so we can see that it works. Great, stop it. There is another thing I'm having an issue with that I haven't figured out yet, but for some reason, like let's just add, what's today's date? The 24th. Let's add a trade for the 22nd. It should be the newest trade by whoops, what's going on here? Does that have two? Oh. Wait, what? Oh, geez, I really messed this date one up. I don't know what. All right, there we go. Weird. Say we scooped her at 124. Sure. Great. Okay, so we're putting it in as the 22nd, which is the Thursday. Today's Saturday, the 24th. And see, it comes in as the 21st. And I'm sure it has something to do with the ISO date, UTC, universal time, and all that stuff. But I don't know why I'm getting these. So it's like setting it back a day. I'm sure it has something to do with my formatting. So I need to figure that out. Let's see. Okay, so that's something to figure out. And another thing I was thinking, and I did do this on a different one, so I'll just show you. Let's copy this over. I feel like I'm doing a lot of copying today. Maybe I'm copying too much this time. I feel like I was typing way too much last time, and now I feel like I'm copying too much. So find a good balance. But it's hard during the week when I have time to work on this project to not just like keep going. And then I have so much on the project that's ahead to talk about on here. I kind of like forget where I'm left off. So figure out a good system there. But basically what we're going to use, so we're going to have, if it's a sell, we're going to do this kind of light red. And if it's a buy, we're going to use light green, because this isn't so bad to look at. But if I had pages of this, which I may by the, halfway through the year, I don't want to look at, this isn't like clear enough for me. And I don't know that this is the best solution. Maybe there's a better one, but for right now, what we're going to do is I did this right inside of the oh yeah, I just did it right here. Okay, duh, because it's the whole row. So class name, and here's where we'll use this little oops, use this little guy again, and we will do a little bit of this. Boom, boom, boom. If stock.by cell equals by, then question mark, right? We'll do the ledger by else. And you can see how there's an error if you don't do, you have to do something, even if it's that. But in this case, we're going to do ledger cell. So now you can see it's a little bit cleaner looking. We need to fix these buttons too. Those look terrible. But for now, here's the thing on this though, is it makes me think like green good, red bad. I'm also thinking the other solution might be, and I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I could, because the other option is I could do, how would I do this? Can I do two ternaries right inside of each other? So I was thinking I could do, if it's stock.open trade equals true, we'll just call it ledger by for now, do this. But see, I don't know if I can do two of these. So like if it's open trade true, let's see. Let's go ahead and ask Google. Let's see, can you have a else if in a yes turn? Okay. Okay, so you can do an else if. So, oh, okay. So let grade equal. Okay, if score is less than, do this. Okay, so you just put it like that. All right, so I guess you can do that. That's interesting. Okay, so this would be the first one. So if that equals that question mark, then do ledger by. Then I guess we just do this. If stock dot close trade equals true. Okay, question mark. Then we'll do ledger cell, and then we'll just do nothing otherwise. And that didn't work. Stock.open trade equals true, which we have one right here. Okay, let's just pretend, let's just get rid of all this real quick for a second. Just see if this works. Stock.open trade What am I doing wrong? Open trade. Oh, because it's not a string. Yes. Oh, there we go. It's a boolean. There we go. I don't know. Is that like more helpful? Like I opened a trade. Or I could do 4 different colors. I could do like a lighter green and a darker green. See, because what I'm thinking too is, I know we don't have the trait. Let me pull up the Figma because this will, whoops. Oh, dang it. Did I close that? Let me pull that back up real quick. Well, let's just pretend this is the trait stats just because it's a table. And let's say this entire SMCI by would be one line with all of our statistics, like, well, just for that trade, like how much money did we make? What percent gain did we have? What percent impact on the portfolio? Things like that. So it'd just be the easy, simple statistics for this one SMCI by. So if we click on it, then it would show us maybe like at the top here would be the statistics for the trade, overall trade. And then for each of these trades, right, we would see all these line items. That way, like it's easy to look at a chart and say like where we bought, where we sold and stuff. So that's not something I'm thinking of doing that I think would be really helpful, because otherwise, and I've done this where like I mark up the charts, but then they get so hard to look at. Like I can pull up, let me just pull up real quick. On trading view, I don't know, we'll just use an example like Axon. I didn't buy this stock, but let's just say like I do. And so like I'll have all these, like, just making these up real quick. Right, so I'll have all these lines and then they'll be like, I'll change each buy to like a smaller, and then like the thick green one will be, so, and then I have, and I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but like I'll put like these blue lines every place I bought. This just happens to line up like really nice. Let's say here, I don't know. Right, and then I'll have, of course, like a final line that's, then if you start selling, right, now you've got these red lines everywhere. And then I have to like denote the sell lines with these. It just gets like, the chart gets like super messy really quick. And I don't, actually don't save that. So I think it would be cool if I could look at here and be like, okay, I could have this side by side next to the chart and say like, okay, I've got this trade, I bought it here at this point, like, and then I can just kind of pause and be like, and then the chart's not all messy and everything. So I think that's something we'll do. Once again, we didn't get to the statistics, but I do feel like finally the CSS looks good. We can clean up these buttons, I guess. Just put that down. Clean up. Edit. Delete button. And then, okay, so all we really have to do next week is, let's just go through what we've done. So basically, a couple quick things. And this can change. I mean, that's pretty simple, but basically what we did today, we added a bunch of CSS, pretty simple stuff though, just some like flex, just basic flex stuff and like our color scheme and all that. Nothing really too crazy. So we did that. We finished the add trade, and remember we added the ability to open the trade or close the trade, which is going to be really important when running through all the statistics on the data. Like we really needed that. I messed around with that a lot this week, and I'm still not like fully clear on how it's all going to work, but if we didn't have those markers, it'd be really hard. So we do have that. Does update trade have that? Okay, it does. Good, cool. So yeah, we can change that there. We've got the CSS we can see here. We did the update trade. All the data fills out. We do need to figure out this date situation. I don't know what it's doing. I mean, I have a pretty good idea, and I'm sure it's a simple fix, but I don't want to be Googling for forever here. We've got the ledger CSS. We will clean these buttons up, but that's pretty easy. Still got to maybe figure out, I mean, it's not that it's simple to do, just got to make a decision on how I want this to look. You can do it however you want. We got the open and close to show up here. So we got a lot done today. And I mean, we added all the functionality on the stock service layer, or just the service layer here. We added the get one stock by ID, the update one stock where we did the ID, we passed the stock in, so we did all that. And we created the custom hooks. So I will look in to see if I can blend these together, because it seems really silly. Like the code is exactly the same, except for this little piece is different. And so it just seems silly that I can't have them as one hook. I'm just not really sure how to do it right now. I'm a little tired. But at least we had those in the custom hooks, and now it's like a lot easier to look through this code, right? There's really not a lot of code. It's mainly just HTML stuff here. So that's all good. So next week we will combine the hooks. We will figure out the date problem and clean up the edit and delete buttons. Those are pretty simple. Hopefully that only takes like a half hour. And then we can really dive into some of the statistics stuff. I did do some of it, and basically what we'll do is build within our utils. We'll have just a plain JavaScript file here with all the math basically going on. So I'm going to work on it more this week. I have most of this stuff. Again, the hardest problem I'm having is just getting, I mean, like, it's pretty simple here, but like getting the code to know, or the application to know that this is one trade. And I don't want to store every one trade in the database as an object, because then if I go in and edit, I mean, I guess I can have it update. I guess inside of the submit button, I can have 2 updates, but I don't know. So I'm going to play around with some solutions, and maybe I'll bring multiple ways to do it. But I think that's going to be like the biggest crux that I foresee of the entire application, is this piece for individual trades, because the overall portfolio statistics really depends upon that. Because I don't have Figma open, but basically I always like to know, what is my average win, my average loss, what percent win, what percent loss. And I can't know that if I can't combine this into one trade. So I've made a little headway using a hash map that kind of just expands itself as new trades come in. But I think there's still a little more work to do. I need to figure out a way to filter it first by dates, and there's some things to mess around with. So anyway, so that's it. Appreciate anyone who came. You're on codes. I saw you were here. My bad. Sorry, I missed you. And anyone who watches this after, yeah, we added the update delete functionality. We cleaned up the styling. We did some inline ternary stuff with class names. We got the update thing to pre-fill, which is great. And we got this new open trade, closed trade thing. So made a lot of headway. Now I think we can finally get into the actual logic of the trade statistics, which I'm really excited about. So hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend, and that will be it for me. Stop sharing, end the stream. See ya.